You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
And we start with a peek outside our window here in the Rosemary District. A little foggy out there right now.
Yeah, there were some spots of fog coming in. Some areas that were pretty thick here at times. So make sure you leave a little early if you're heading out and about around this morning. 6 o'clock for you. Good morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. It is Tuesday, February 27th. March is around the corner.
That is right. Later on this week already. Where did February go?
Also around the corner, John Scalzi. Hey, buddy.
Literally.
Good morning. We have, as you mentioned, we have some fog around this morning. In some places, the fog is a little bit thicker. We now have a report of a quarter-mile visibility in Sarasota at the airport. So it's patchy, but it kind of comes and goes, ebbs and flows. And in one place, it may be just fine. And a half an hour later, it may develop into a fog that could cause you a little bit of delay or some visibility problems on your roadways this morning. So we are checking the fog box for issues this morning on your morning commute. School bus forecast calls for, well, a little bit of that patchy fog around this morning as your kids are picked up at the school bus stops. As they're dropped off this afternoon, should be just fine. 83 degrees the air temperature at that point with rain-free, sunny skies. We do have a little bit of rain showers to the north of us, but they're kind of in the process of decaying away, and I don't think that's going to be a big problem for us today. Certainly locally, rain, not the issue. It is all about fog this morning in some places. We'll go with daytime high temperature well above average again today at 83, but down the road, there are some big changes coming, and we'll talk about those coming up in a few.
Oh, boy. Good tease. Thank you, John. Talk to you again soon. Checking the roads right now. A little buildup there on 14th Street West as you head into downtown Bradenton. Also farther south, we'll check into the upper half of Sarasota County. Not much to speak of right now, fortunately. And to the south of there, pretty clear. And in spite of the foggy conditions, clear out there at 6:02 on your Tuesday morning. And this is a live picture from Cortez and 14th Street West, a busy intersection during the day. Right now, though, it's just before the morning commute.
That is right. It's not looking too bad out there now, but it is going to get so much busier. And that brings us to our next story. Yes. Now, commuters, this one is for you. You know it is that time of the year again. Spring breakers are going to be hitting the Suncoast, and that means one thing. Those roads are going to be so much busier for a few weeks.
Our Marla Spence is at a busy spot, US 41 along the Bayfront with a preview. Marla, good morning.
Yeah, Ray and Stephanie, all this morning we've been listing the top hot spots or the top locations on the Suncoast where the Florida Highway Patrol says Suncoast drivers should keep an eye out for when those college kids come into town for spring break. Now, US 41 and Bayfront Drive is just one of those locations, but another location is US 41 Reuben, and that location is near the Oscar Sharer State Park. The Florida Highway Patrol tells us that area has seen its share of vehicle crashes. We're also told mostly because people heading to the state park usually travel with 2 or 3 people in their car, which can cause distracted driving if they're having a conversation in their car and they're not paying close attention to the roads. This is also something that usually happens when college kids come into town for spring break. Now, coming up at 6:30, we're going to be giving you some more information on how you can exactly stay safe on the Suncoast while those college kids make their way over to the Suncoast for spring break. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. To stay on top of all the latest breaking traffic updates and breaking news, plus your up-to-the-minute first alert forecast, just head over to our app. You can find it under WWSB or My Suncoast.
Well, today in Tallahassee, the big topic again is the state's gun laws.
The Florida Senate is moving forward with adding new restrictions. Now, yesterday, a Senate committee voted for a bill that would raise the age to purchase rifles from 18 to 21 and also create a waiting period to buy those weapons. Now, that bill would also make it easier to block gun sales or confiscate weapons from people who show violent tendencies or signs of mental illness. It would also let counties authorize certain teachers to carry concealed weapons in school if they undergo training. But the committee refused to add an overall assault-style weapon ban to the bill, which led to protests.
Gun control also a hot topic in Washington, D.C. right now. Congress is back in session. And as John Lawrence tells us, it was also a hot issue at the governor's conference there as well.
Nearly 2 weeks have passed since 17 people were killed in a Florida high school, and the gun control debate is raging.
We continue to mourn the loss of so many precious, innocent young lives, but we'll turn our grief into action. We have to have action.
The White House has yet to release specific legislative framework for any gun-based proposals, but the president pledged to eliminate bump fire stocks and called for strengthening the country's background check system.
You just got to go and check who you're selling a gun to. I mean, these are things that are just, they're not depriving anybody of their Second Amendment.
Some support raising the minimum age limit for purchasing certain types of arms.
To say that you can go by on your 18th birthday, blow out the candles, and then go get a semi-automatic weapon and then turn it and put a bump stock on it and be fully automatic is just nuts.
And while the president and others have called for arming teachers on a voluntary basis, not everyone agrees.
When one holds up a gun in that situation, they might well be the person shot at by the police, believing that they are the one that is committing the atrocity.
As the debate continues, the victims of the Parkland shooting wait for change.
I feel angry. Angry that we let this happen. Angry that we did not solve this problem a long time ago.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Well, nearly 2 weeks have passed since 17 people were killed in that Florida high school, and the gun control debate is raging. President Trump said, "We continue to mourn the loss of so many innocent, precious young lives, but we turn our grief into action." Now, the White House has yet to release specific legislative framework for any gun-based proposals, but the president pledged to eliminate bump fire stocks, and he also called for strengthening the country's background check system. The governor of Ohio just said that you have to go and check to see who it is that you are selling for and make sure that they are not depriving anybody of that Second Amendment as well. Now, of course, the next story in this is that Republicans in Georgia are also threatening Delta Airlines for withdrawing their support of the NRA with different discounts that are going on today. Now, the president of the Georgia Senate is threatening Delta after it cut ties with the National Rifle Association. The lieutenant governor there says they're going to prevent Delta Airlines from receiving a lucrative tax cut unless it reestablishes its discount program with the NRA.
We can't just kowtow to the type of political pressure that comes against conservative values. And certainly the NRA is an organization that obviously feels very strong, as I do, around Second Amendment. And I think it's time that we take this stand.
Now, Delta said in a statement that the company's decision, quote, merely confirmed its neutral status in that national debate over guns. United Airlines and Hertz have also cut ties with the NRA, as have at least 15 companies out there today. However, FedEx says it is not cutting ties with the NRA. The company issued a statement saying that the company has never changed their rates for their millions of customers based on politics or beliefs. And a Florida golf club owned by President Trump has agreed to pay over $5 million to settle a lawsuit with former members. The class action lawsuit alleges the Trump National Golf Club in Jupiter violated the contract terms that 65 members signed with the previous owner, Ritz-Carlton. Now, that settlement requires Trump's organization to pay 94% of the total judgment ordered by a federal judge. That class action members will receive 71% of refunds that they paid.
Well, some good news for Florida residents who like out-of-state college football teams. Florida drivers may soon be able to buy state license plates with names like Auburn University and University of Georgia on them. The House will consider passing that bill. Proceeds from the tags, though, would provide scholarships to Florida residents who attend those two out-of-state schools.
Well, the popular PBS series Antiques Roadshow is launching its 2018 tour right in Sarasota. The network is going to be taping 3 episodes on the Suncoast this spring for their 2019 season. Now, if you want to participate, you have to enter into random drawing for tickets. Roughly 3,000 people will be handed out, and each guest can bring 2 items for appraisal. Now, that deadline to apply, though, you got to get on it. It is tonight at midnight. For more information, all you have to do is head to our website, mysuncoast.com.
Antiques are so subjective. You bring something in, and the guy says, oh, that's not worth very much. I'll give you $10. And inside his head, he thinks, that's a great...
10 million?
Yeah. I
do like it. It's interesting to watch Antiques Roadshow, though, because sometimes the things that you think have no value are the ones in the millions.
Apparently so.
Good stuff.
Still ahead, the latest in First Alert traffic, and the current opioid epidemic is in the headlines a lot these days.
But it's actually not new in history. We're going to tell you how it all started way back in the Civil War. We've got that story for you coming up.
There's a live picture of New York City. Beautiful Empire State Building, built back around 1930. Pretty shot there. Looking across the island. We'll have more news after this.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. We're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
If you've never truly loved your car, you've clearly never owned a Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $219 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru True Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Loaded with big laughs, colorful characters, and the songs that made the 20s roar, Bullets Over Broadway is bringing musical theater back with a bang. Your attendance is requested at the Players Center for this wild Broadway musical opening February 21st. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit the website at theplayers.org. This is one Broadway show that is sure to knock 'em dead.
Tickets are going fast for My Hometown Fest, Saturday, March 3rd from noon to 5 at Nathan Benderson Park. Enjoy foods from 40 area restaurants, 40-plus craft beers, live music, and lots of fun. Get your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
We have a little bit of cloud cover out there. We also have some patchy fog in places. Visibility last reported at the Sarasota International Airport came in at a quarter mile, so that's low enough that it starts to cause some problems with backlighting of the headlights and such like that, scattering of the light, giving kind of a difficult vision problem. So allow yourself perhaps a little extra time this morning. It's not going to be everywhere. And in fact, you may not even encounter fog, but it could come up on you pretty quickly, and conditions locally can change every half hour. So it's one of those kind of fluid situations where it's not widespread, it's not terribly dense, but it is out there in certain locations, and it kind of comes and goes. 67 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia at 67, 67 Myakka, Parrish at 66, Bradenton 67, Sarasota 66, 68 in Venice and Inglewood and Northport, and Longboat comes in at 69 degrees. So the forecast for today calls for relatively high dew point values. Right now it's at 66. Dew point is the same, so consequently we get that 100% relative humidity out there at the airport. Southeast wind coming in at about 5. That southerly component kind of pumping up that moisture and keeping us kind of in the soup, at least for the first half of the day. 9 a.m. temperature comes in at about 74, 80 degrees by 12 noon. When you have some lunch out there and then head off into the afternoon, we'll watch temperatures top out at about 83. Again, another warm day, adding to the total of February warm days and leading us to the warmest February on record. As we head into the evening, temperatures will drop back into the 70s. I don't think we'll have the fog problem tomorrow morning that we're having this morning, simply because this front, while it's not a very terribly strong one, may lower our dew point values a little bit by tomorrow, but just not significantly. That significant change in dew points, that comes up later in the week. The frontal boundary kind of meandering south, north of us, heading south, kind of falling apart as it does. So don't expect too much in the way of rainfall around our area today, despite the fact that we have a little bit of cloud cover to start the morning. We'll go with the 70s as we head into lunchtime today. I think we'll see 80s most everywhere. And then as we move into the evening hours, we'll drop back down into the 70s. And winds will be out of the northeast as we head into the afternoon, I think. And then a little bit more maybe easterly or east-northeast as we head into the overnight. Temperatures falling into the 60s during the overnight. Across the nation, things are pretty quiet, but we do have a big ridge of high pressure sitting over the eastern seaboard, providing tranquil conditions there. And a frontal boundary taking shape back to the west. That's the one that's going to really significantly change our weather. Today, we're dealing with this little bit of a frontal boundary that's really in the process of decay. The tail end of this front will start lifting north as a warm front as high scoots out into the Atlantic. It will still be warm today, will still be mostly dry, but we are waiting for big changes for the weekend. Certainly a cooler weekend headed our way. Look at these temperature trends. Over the next several days, we stay mild for our nighttime lows, then boom, we drop as that front comes through on Friday, lowering our nighttime lows to the low 50s. In some cases, we may even see some 40s in inland areas. So big changes. Northeast wind coming in at about 10 today, switching to the north at about 5 to 10 later this evening. Light chop. Should be a nice day on the waters. Forecast calls for 83 today, 82 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday. Temperatures at night generally hovering in the mid to upper 60s. Then we get to Friday. We start to cloud up a little bit, factor in a slight chance of a shower, and drop our temperature to 77. Over the weekend, that temperature continues to fall into the mid to lower 70s with nighttime lows in the 50s. Should be delightfully low humidity as well. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic at 6:17 this morning. The roads are starting to pick up a little bit, starting to see some more of that congestion that happens if you're heading into Bradenton or heading out of Bradenton, particularly right there on 301. In North Sarasota, those roads are looking pretty good out there this morning. Just a little bit of a slowdown that you're seeing right there on 41 near, let's see, the Fruitville Exchange. That's a little busy around this time of the morning as well. If you're heading a little bit farther south, those are typically the roads that are looking pretty good. The farther south you go, the more congestion-free that the traffic is getting. So it's a good time of the morning to head out and about and run some errands if you want to head out of those places that are not yet open, according to Ray Collins. It is 6:18, and that is your first alert traffic. Well, there are lots of choices for home buyers, and January was a record-breaking month for new real estate listings here on Suncoast. According to Sarasota County, listings have jumped by 5% since this time last year. In Manatee County, home prices jumped more than 7%. January, though, is typically a good month because of the influx of snowbirds.
Well, here's a handy consumer tip for you. There's a website offering special travel discounts on Thursdays in March. Ebates is running a special promo called Travel Thursdays all through March. Each Thursday, a different theme. Beach trips,
yes.
Europe,
yes.
Disney,
yes.
Big cities.
Yep.
There'll be cashback deals on airfare up to 50% in hotels, up to 10%. Ebates, it's called.
All right, I'm on that right now. Well, if you haven't had breakfast yet,
yes.
Ray and Stephanie, our 17th annual National Pancake Day is today. Participating restaurants are giving away free short stacks from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Dine-in only, limited to 1 short stack per customer, Ray. While the pancakes are free, IHOP is actually hoping that you might make every stack count by donating to some of their charity partners. Give some, get some.
Love those pancakes.
I know, right?
Not enough gluten-free pancakes out there.
Oh, I bet you we can find them.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, an emergency landing after a terrifying mid-air scare.
The flight you don't want to find yourself on ever. We've got it for you right after this.
It is 6:19 right now. A peek outside our window. We do have some fog right now on the Suncoast. I'll have John Scalzi's forecast and more consumer news on the way right here on Good Morning Suncoast.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
That's how it looks right now in Manhattan. Daylight is breaking here. Pretty shot there. Empire State Building, built in 1931. Fun fact.
I like the Ray Collins fun facts. Those
Yes, welcome back. 6:23 right now. Well, the Suncoast has beaches, we have the arts, and also a disproportionate issue with opioid abuse.
Now today there's a focus on addiction and alternatives, but the history actually goes all the way back to the Civil War, and it shows that it's not such a new epidemic.
To understand the opioid crisis in the present, you have to look into the past.
This is really our third, maybe fourth go-around with an opiate epidemic. Our initial epidemic in America, anyway, started with the Civil War.
According to Brooks, those Civil War soldiers needed relief from the pain of their battlefield injuries.
Actually, with the opiates, we ended up with about 400,000 soldiers addicted to opium at that point in time, primarily through morphine.
Round number 2. From Civil War soldiers to upper-class housewives, the early 1900s brought a whole new class of opioid user.
Prior to 1900, it was a drug that was mama's little helper, very much like Valium was in the 1970s, and about 60% of the opiate addicts at that time were upper middle class women.
Next, round number 3, from upper-class housewives to soldiers returning from the Vietnam War.
And our soldiers having access to heroin in Vietnam, they came back with chemical dependency to the opiates, and here they are, and essentially that's when the methadone clinics kind of kicked into play and things like that, and then now we're on essentially kind of round 4.
Well, the Southwest flight was forced to make an emergency landing shortly after a frightening mid-air scare.
Passengers saw flames from an engine. ABC's Candace Gibson has the story.
In this morning's GMA First Look, no passenger wants to see this out the window of their plane. Flames shooting from an engine just after takeoff from Salt Lake City. A photographer on the ground able to capture this Southwest jet spitting flames from its right engine.
Saw balls of fire, and it got pretty tense for a few minutes.
Lots of praying, lots of holding hands.
Half of me was panicked, the other half of me was just like, get it together.
This video, taken inside the plane by passenger Che Columbine, came after he saw the first flames and rang the flight attendant button.
I said there's a problem with the engine. And then she ran up towards the front.
Within seconds, the pilots were calling air traffic control. And we'll have the latest on the scare in the air coming up at 7 o'clock. With your GMA First Look, I'm Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Before people invite something new into their homes, they want to know who you are. We're Almond Breeze, and we only use California-grown Blue Diamond almonds in our almond milk, cared for by our family of almond growers. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze. The best almonds make the best almond milk.
Hey, allergy muddlers, are you one sneeze away from being voted out of the carpool? Try Zyrtec. It starts working hard at hour 1 and works twice as hard when you take it again the next day. Stick with Zyrtec and muddle no more.
Enamel is the strong, white outer layer of your tooth surface. The thing that's really important to dentists is to make sure that that enamel stays strong and resilient for a lifetime. The more that we can strengthen and reharden that tooth surface, the whiter their patient's teeth are going to be. Dentists are going to really want to recommend Pronamel Strong and Bright. It helps to strengthen and reharden the enamel. It also has stain lifting action. It's going to give their patients the protection that they need and the whiter teeth that they want.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Come experience the rugged capability and luxurious comfort of a new Ram truck and get big savings during Ram Truck Month at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $25,999. Or save big and get $13,300 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
They support us, so I just want to show that we are supporting them and we're here to supply them with whatever they need to make them feel comfortable and feel welcome back at school.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, how people from all over the country are coming together.
All to help students return to school tomorrow at Stoneman Douglas High School.
I'm live on US 41 and Bayfront Drive in Sarasota, and this is just one roadway that the Florida Highway Patrol says will be packed with spring breakers. What you need to know as a driver to stay safe is straight ahead. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
Oh, good morning to you. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. You're looking at a live look outside our window.
Fog out there right now.
Yeah, it's a little foggy. There's some patches out there you have to be on the lookout for. But other than that, it's a pretty nice morning so far.
Tuesday, February 27th, 6:31. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning.
Let's get to the forecast. Here he is, folks. It's a great Scalzini.
Yeah.
Scalzini, yes.
The visibility improving across the area. That's the good news, making it disappear. Abracadabra.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had some quarter-mile visibility earlier on. We're now up to 1 mile visibility, which is fine. You can deal with 1 mile visibility, not too much of a problem. Maybe a little bit thicker in inland areas. Just put it in the back of your mind as you head out the door this morning that particularly if you're commuting from an inland location, you may come across some patchy, dense fog out there. Fair amount of cloud cover as well, so we'll check the fog category for the drive forecast this morning, for your commute forecast, but should not be any problem whatsoever on the way home. Should be another delightful day in store for you. As far as all the airport hubs serving the Sarasota airport, no delays, green lights everywhere you look. You ask about allergy, well, here's the pollen count. Not so good in the tree category. In fact, it's darn high. Oak, juniper, and nettle are the major allergens out there this morning. I know I have it going on, so I hope you don't, because it's really bad in some locations. We have daytime high temperatures topping out around 83 degrees by 3 p.m. today. A nice day in store for you. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
I've used half a box of Kleenex this morning.
I second that observation.
You've had to listen to it. There's the roads right now in Manatee County. A little built up on 301 as you head southbound toward Sarasota County. Speaking of which, just one of our little issue there, an accident we'll check on in a minute around University. There's the scene on 301 on either side of Fruitville, some congestion there, and checking farther south now. And our South County map, nothing much to speak of right now. Let's take a live shot of what will be the busiest intersection, or I should say one of the busiest intersections this morning, 14th Street West in Cortez in Manatee County. You'll see plenty of cars there as the morning progresses. Right now, not too bad, but as I said, as you know, it gets bad as the commute begins in earnest.
All right, and speaking of that commute, March is around the corner, as in later this week. 2 words come to mind: spring break. And that means more people and way more traffic here on Suncoast.
Our Marla Spence is live on US 41 along the Bayfront with a preview. Marla?
Yeah, Ray and Stephanie, spring break, like you said, is right around the corner, meaning many college kids will be heading right here to the Suncoast on top of snowbirds already being in town. Those college kids will be adding to the amount of traffic and also congestion right here on Suncoast roads. Now, according to the Florida Highway Patrol, starting mid-March for 6 weeks, troopers will be working around the clock to enforce traffic laws. A trooper tells us usually around this time of the year, troopers hand out tickets to drivers for distracted driving. FHP also see an increase of careless driving, rear-end collisions, and also violations of the right-of-way when spring breakers are in town. A trooper with FHP also tells us an increase of crashes due to people driving aggressively because more cars are on the roads, vying for the same space and all heading to the same restaurants, beaches, and also malls. Now, just within an 8-month period last year, about 83 million visitors were in the state of Florida. So you can just imagine how many were just on the Suncoast last year. So that's why this year FHP is making sure that Suncoast drivers remain safe on Suncoast roads when those spring breakers do head into town. Reporting live in Sarasota, Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
For other traffic news, thank you, Marla. Check our app. You can get it at the App Store under WWSB or under My Suncoast.
Well, a follow-up now on an investigation at Bayshore High School. Detectives have charged a 14-year-old boy with making threats against the school. Now, those threats were reported to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office last Friday, and Bayshore was placed under lockdown. And Cardinal Mooney High School will be back in session today after a threat closed the campus yesterday. Sarasota police are investigating that Snapchat post that was shared over the weekend. And in the post, a student threatened to shoot up the school, specifically upperclassmen. Investigators say they have no reason to believe there is a threat to the school at this time.
Governor Scott says he wants a police officer inside every public school by next semester, but some say easier said than done. Public middle schools and high schools in Sarasota and Manatee counties currently have at least one school resource officer, but most elementary schools do not. These officers are often asked to provide counseling, mitigate fights, and serve as role models for students. Even with funding, though, Sarasota's police chief says hiring a new officer can take about a year and a half.
I think it's a good idea. We put officers at sporting events. I know we want to protect our kids, but we also have to be realistic and know that I don't have 20 officers that I could take right now, send them to the specialized training, and get into the schools in a really quick period of time.
DePino estimates you'd have to hire an additional 20 officers to meet the school security standards laid out right now by Governor Scott's action plan.
Well, teachers returning to Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland are getting an outpouring of support from all over the country. Sanela Sabovic has the amazing response.
It's a room filled with classroom essentials. Everything from dry erase boards to notebooks, pens, pencils, and even inspirational posters. Volunteers are decked out in their Parkland Strong shirts, packing supplies to get them into the hands of teachers at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
I'm devastated at the thought of what the teachers have to deal with.
Julie Lambert and her friend Lisa Glassman wanted to help out in the wake of the shooting tragedy. So it began as a project to help make the first week back for teachers as easy as possible. And as an educator herself, Lambert knew exactly what to do.
I started making an Amazon wish list as if I was a teacher and it was my classroom, what I would want the messages to be. And I posted it on Facebook and I tagged as many people as I could all over the country.
From there, the project took off. Thousands of supplies were being sent to a clubhouse in Parkland from all over the country, and students even pitched in to help.
They support us, so I just want to show that we are supporting them and we're here to supply them with whatever they need to make them feel comfortable and feel welcome back at school.
And the educators feel the love. Jason Friedlander, a social studies teacher, worked closely with slain teacher Scott Beagle. He is thankful for the community's help during this difficult time.
It's so warming to see so many people, really from all over the world, looking at this community and offering support in all different kinds of ways.
Other news now, State Senator Greg Steube says he's going to run for Congress. The Republican is announcing he will run for Florida's 17th congressional district seat, which is being vacated by Congressman Tom Rooney. You might recall last week Rooney announced he would not be seeking re-election after 10 years in Congress. The district includes the southern half of Sarasota County. The city of Northport took another step toward hiring a new police chief last night. The city hosted a meet and greet for the 4 finalists. The candidates include an internal affairs staff inspector for the New York State Police, the chief of police in Brooksville, a deputy chief in Coral Springs, and an operational services commander at the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. The current chief, Kevin Vespia, is retiring in a few weeks. Last night we talked to him as well.
A lot of great things we've accomplished here at Northport PD. I'm proud of the men and women here, and I'm looking forward to see how they do in the future.
So it's the city manager, not the elected officials, who will decide which candidate becomes the next police chief in Northport. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is giving a big donation to the Venice YMCA. The Y received 10 computers that were seized during investigations into illegal internet gambling cafes throughout Sarasota County. They'll be repurposed, obviously, and placed at 2 Sunshine Education Academy campuses in Venice, which supports both administrative and classroom needs.
New this morning, a food bank on the Suncoast will celebrate a major expansion this week. All Faiths Food Bank has a newly expanded distribution center. The 35,000 square foot expansion will allow the food bank to triple the amount of fresh produce that it can store to help people in need in Sarasota and DeSoto counties. All Faiths will hold a ribbon cutting for its new facility on Thursday.
All right, big growth there.
Lots of growth in this area. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the latest in your first alert traffic, and it is almost Oscar weekend, and new procedures measures are being put in place.
Yeah, all to make sure the Academy Awards run smoothly this year. We'll have that story. First, let's go to the Bayfront. Take a peek at the traffic right there. That's US 41 looking back toward the Ringling Causeway. Pretty skyline scene there. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt would leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you, too.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC 7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main, first Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC 7 and these sponsors.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we've got some cloud cover around that's kind of held the temperatures from inland to coastline in a pretty uniform kind of gradient. So we're looking at 66 in Wauchula, 68 in Arcadia, 68 in Inglewood, 66 in Sarasota, 68 in Venice, 69 Longboat Key, 66 Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 67. You get the picture, pretty uniform stuff. As we start to heat the day, with dawn, I think we'll start to watch temperatures pretty rapidly move into the 70s across the region, and any patchy fog that's around will dissipate very quickly. Calm conditions out there right now. 100% relative humidity still, with the temperature and dew point matching. That could lead to that patchy fog that's around. We have had reports of quarter-mile visibility in some locations, briefly though, as then we started to see the improvement take place pretty speedily. So it's the kind of situation where in some locations you'll see some fog, then you'll drive 200 feet and there won't be any more fog around. So that's the kind of situation this morning. You may want to allow yourself a little extra time, especially if you're commuting from inland locations. But as I mentioned, by daybreak, that'll go away pretty quickly. 74 degrees by 9 a.m. this morning. Then as we head into the noontime lunch hour, we'll look for temperatures that'll be pretty close to the 80-degree mark. Cracking the 80-degree mark and moving on to the low 80s by 3 p.m. We'll have a mostly sunny sky. Looks like it'll be a beautiful afternoon. And then this evening, partly cloudy skies. Don't think we'll have the fog problem overnight. And a 7 p.m. temperature of 73 degrees. Looks really nice out there. We have a frontal boundary that's trying to move across the area. It will continue to sink southward. It's triggering a few few scattered showers over in the Atlantic coastline, not a whole lot over in the Gulf waters. And the front itself is just basically north of St. Pete, Sarasota, St. Pete, Tampa right now, heading south into probably Sarasota before it just kind of fades away, washes out. Doesn't really lower our temperatures all that much, doesn't really bring us terribly drier air. You may notice a dew point drop of a couple of degrees by tomorrow morning, but really that'll be it. Otherwise, the big change comes up later in the week with another frontal boundary on the way. Hour by hour forecast through 9 a.m. We'll look at temperatures cracking the 70 mark as we head into lunchtime hour, past the 80-degree mark, and then as we move into the evening time, we'll see the temperatures again beginning to fall. Winds will generally start coming in out of the north, leading to a pretty nice overnight tonight. Forecast, excuse me, calls for a big ridge of high pressure to kind of settle in, and as it does so, push a cold front southward. As that cold front is pushed southward, the tail end of it lifts north as a warm front, bringing some rainfall perhaps tomorrow to the Atlanta area. So if you're traveling, put that in the back of your mind. There could be some airport delays at Atlanta by tomorrow afternoon. Still warm for us today, mostly dry with a cooler weekend in store. Looks like a nice boating day today, no doubt about that. North winds coming in at about 10 will bring you a light chop with just some 2-foot seas out there. The forecast calls for a daytime high today, mild like yesterday, coming in at 83 or so. 82 tomorrow. Thursday still warm in the 80s, I think. And then we get into Friday. Friday, the second front of the week comes through with about a 20% chance of a shower. We'll look for temperatures to start falling as winds turn north into the 70s for daytime highs. And then comes the weekend. Temperatures falling into the mid to even lower 70s. Full sunshine, a little bit breezy with nighttime lows in the 50s. We'll look for that temperature trend to continue into next work week. Looks nice. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Taking a look outside. First alert traffic this morning. It's starting to get a little bit busier in there. Definitely those bridges are starting to get a little bit more congested, as well as some congestion that you can see right there on Cortez. Now, if we're heading into North Sarasota, those roads are starting to look a little bit busier as well. Starting to see a little bit of a glitch right there on the corner of 41 and Clark. So that's starting to get a little bit busy out there. If you're heading a little bit farther south in the area, those roads are actually still looking pretty good out there this morning. Not too much going on. The farther south that you get, the lighter the traffic gets, except for a couple slow spots right there on 41 that are pretty normal for around this time of the morning. And that is your first alert traffic.
We've got a picture of traffic right now, actually, at 14th Street West and Cortez, one of the busier spots on the Suncoast. And right now, that is a live picture. Traffic's flowing smoothly, but it'll get busier as the hour progresses here toward the morning commute on this Tuesday morning.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell makes his debut appearance on Capitol Hill today. The head of the Fed addresses Congress 2 times a year to give a report on the U.S. economy. Now, investors will be keeping a close eye on whether or not he's going to be boosting the federal interest rates more rapidly and how many Fed rate hikes are going to be expected throughout the year. Now, the Fed appears to be optimistic so far about the country's growth.
All right, switching gears, get a new insight now into the extent of teens and sexting. Nearly a third of teenagers are receiving sexts. 15% are sending them. That's a new study in the Journal of the American Medical Association. It also showed 1 in 8 kids report either forwarding or having sent a text, sext without consent.
Well, the Academy Awards are making changes to make sure that things run smoothly this year. Last year, it went down as in Oscar history when La La Land was announced Best Picture instead of Moonlight. 3 minutes after the announcement, it was revealed the Best Actress envelope was handed to the presenters instead of the Best Picture envelope. The accounting firm Price Waterhouse, now they have counted the ballots for almost 80 years. This year, 2 new stage side partners are overseeing the envelopes. The ones that you're seeing right there from last year are banned from the ceremony. A third balloting partner is actually going to sit with producers in the control room as well. There's a brand new formal procedure that's also in place for when all those envelopes are handed over, which is probably a good thing.
For everything Oscars, head on to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram pages. We have interviews, red carpet fashion, and Stephanie will be live tweeting Sunday night during the big show right here, which is on ABC 7.
Darn right. All right.
Up next, the day's top news headlines and
a look at John's forecast, as well as one more look at your first alert traffic before you head out the door right after this. Right now, you're looking live US 41 and Bayfront Drive.
There's a pedestrian.
Was that Marla or? That is where she's been out there this morning talking about the spring break traffic that is going to be headed our way starting at the end of this week.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Thousands of award-winning Honda Civics are on sale for $169 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You made Civic the best-selling compact car in America. Drive one today for just $169 a month, or save thousands on your Civic with 0.9% financing. Civic, a KBB.com Best Buy for less than the competition. Only $169 a month or 0.9% this week at your local Honda dealer.
Honda, I like it. Oh yeah, I like it.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you today, but look at that outside. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, our director, Jim Clark, calls it a tale of two cities.
It does.
Apologies to Charles Dickens. You'll see pretty clear, and as we continue to go toward the south and the east, a little more fog builds up. We should see a high of 83 today.
It's kind of been how the morning was. I drove through like some patches of fog, and then some were just fine.
Yeah. All right, let's check the headlines now as you awaken on this Tuesday morning. Governor Scott says he wants a police officer inside every public school in the state by next year. We did a little spot check, and Sarasota Police Chief Bernadette DePino says if that mandate takes effect, she'd have to hire an additional 20 police officers.
Plus, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is making a big donation to the Venice YMCA. Repurposed computers will be given to 2 Sunshine Education Academy campuses in Venice for both administrative and classroom needs.
And here we go. State Senator Greg Stubbe entering the race for Congress. The Republican is announcing he'll run for Florida's 17th district, which is being vacated by Congressman Tom Rooney.
All right, taking just a kind of a broad brush look outside at the traffic. Not too much to see out there. No major accidents. Just our typical slowdowns coming in and out of Bradenton and a couple hot spots like University Parkway and Fruitville. So traffic is running pretty smooth out there for you.
John?
So we are looking at temperatures that'll climb up into the 80s again today. Kind of a repeat of yesterday, actually. 74 by 9 by 12. We'll look for temperatures near 80. And then 83 degrees, the top out temperature today at 3 p.m. Back down into the 70s this evening. 4 out of 4 for today for your sunset walk. I think it'll be a little bit of cloudiness around if you're going to take that sunset walk at sunrise. But this evening it should clear out pretty nicely. It'll be pretty evening.
You've had a lot of those 4 out of 4 beach balls too.
We have had
lately.
some incredible sunsets with a big ridge of high pressure sitting over us. Yeah.
All right, looking good. Well, coming up on Good Morning America, there's a new tool from Amazon that could change the way you shop. Find out how the AR View works. It's coming up next on GMA.
I like the looks of that.
I know, right? Anything that helps better shop on Amazon. It's like it's not addictive enough already. Yeah.
They'll deliver a couch on a drone to you.
right, pretty much.
By the end of the day.
Right?
That's right.
Have you been taking advantage of that same day delivery stuff?
I've had it a couple times, yes.
It's pretty cool.
Spoiled, never need to leave the house again.
Right.
We leave you now with a picture from that busy spot, also known as 14th Street West in Cortez and Bradenton. Have a wonderful Tuesday, folks.
Stick around. Good Morning America is coming up next.